This is a little bit of a quick update, but I want to let you guys know that yesterday during Jump Festa 2020, Konami announced that Yu-Gi-Oh! Or rather, if you would put it, you guys remember that I did Legacy of a Duelist Link Evolution? You remember? Well, guess what? It has been confirmed that the game is getting an update. And not just any update, a big update. A big update. One of the biggest being that Legacy of a Duelist Link Evolution will be coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. When I told my friend Michael this yesterday, he flipped out, and I never thought that we would actually be getting more, because the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam versions have the original Legacy of a Duelist, which followed Master Rule 3. And Legacy of a Duelist Link Evolution, the one that I covered, that I spent about half a year on, was pretty much the entire thing, but in Master Rule 4, which had all the DLCs. Not only that, but the Switch version will be getting a free update. I'm not kidding. It's going to be getting a free update, and they also showed off some new cards, such as Crystron, Halquifrias, Fireball Dragon Dark Fluid, and IP Masquerena. Just Masquerena. And in addition to that, we're getting new characters as well. Blue Maiden, Soulburner, Revolver, the Season 2 version, as well as Ai, among others. But the only thing that I hope for is that they actually add more of a story mode for this game. Because it would have just really, really been awesome. I'm not kidding. Hopefully, once they do add new content, I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to be returning. And I will be hopefully redoing the VRAINS campaign, starting again, and hopefully doing it better because, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS has came and went, having 120 episodes, being the shortest Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, more shorter than Yugioh Zexal at about 154. Yeah, that title was held on until VRAINS came around. In addition, I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to express my honest feelings about the franchise itself, as well as my thoughts on every anime. Now, I did mention it many times during my playthrough, but this is the one exception that I'm doing. Let's get started with that. First is the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, which, yeah, a lot of us grew up with when we were kids, and it still holds up, whether you're watching the Japanese dub or the English dub. And yeah, the English dub is still pretty nostalgic, but I kind of grew out of it, and pretty much, I moved on to the Japanese dub, and I found it to be a bit different, a bit dark, and a bit interesting to say the least. Then came Yugioh Gx, and it was at that point where the problems on both ends had to happen. First start being the Japanese version, and I enjoyed the Japanese version of GX from start to finish, especially the 4th season, which really showed Jaden being at his best. That, and it was just more awesome by the minute. I mean it. But the season 4 was cut in half because of some difficulties with Jaden's actor, Ken. That's Kenn, who is also Sekko and Golden Wind. Because of those difficulties, they had to cut it in half. The English dub was okay, but it's now become more of a joke. It's become more of a joke for obvious reasons, and I only say this because, I still can't get over the fact that the 4th season never came to English. And I already mentioned detailing why. Because 4Kids was really looking forward to doing it, but Konami and TV Tokyo said, no, you can't do that, you're taking too long, move on to 5Ds. And that's what happened. And speaking of which, 5Ds is just awesome. I enjoyed the Japanese dub more because that's what I was getting into. And although the English dub some people do like, I honestly didn't because they had to make a lot of changes. And it was at that point that 4Kids was in that lawsuit. Lawsuit between them and TV Tokyo over unpaid royalties. And about 4.3 million. Because of that, the series suffered. The series suffered because many episodes were skipped, and an entire season arc was skipped as well, the Arc Cradle arc, which I mentioned already in my playthrough of the 5Ds campaign. But I will not lie, if there's one complaint that I have with this, the 5Ds campaign, the true final duel should have been Yusei versus Jack. It would have actually made things a lot more interesting and a lot more better. And a lot more satisfying too, because it was a satisfying way to end 5Ds. Then came Yugioh Zexal, and my mind on it was a bit divisive. Because I watched the Japanese dub of VRAINS, though the English dub, no disrespect, but I really didn't like it. Not to mention, Yuma's voice was just the most annoying. At least in the Japanese dub, Yuma was annoying, but he did get character development down the line. He was a bit tolerable, just not as much. And it was by that point that 4Kids went bankrupt and the rights to Yu-Gi-Oh! Were reverted back to Konami. Konami formed a subsidiary called 4K Media. At least with Zexal, every episode aired. Every single episode aired. And I got a bad feeling about this. Never mind, we're back on our feet. As I was saying, never mind. It was just a minor false alarm, but still. But either way, Yugioh Zexal was just something else. I really do mean that. I was a bit divisive about that series. It's just that Zexal, even though I did like the idea of XC summoning, I was a bit divisive because I was more into the Japanese dub, and the Japanese dub was a bit hopeful. The English dub was okay. But then we get to Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. And Arc 5 was originally meant to celebrate the franchise. All it was just a big pain in the butt. And I'm not kidding, it was a big pain in the butt because of a lot of issues and problems that happened behind the scenes. On both sides. Let us all not talk about how Arc 5's ending was rushed. Because let's just say that a lot of issues were happening behind the scenes. Most of their talent had to be put to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions movie. The Synchro Dimension arc was just padded way too much. And I would also mention that, yeah, like I said, the ending was rushed. Everything else was wrong. And it was just like a big slap in the face. And I wish they had more time providing a proper ending instead of what we got. And it was just rather bad. The English dub, I never got to see. And for good reason, because the English dub would end up on Nicktoons Network. And Nickelodeon did such a very poor job with the Arc 5 dub, the English dub, that a lot of things happened. One being that an entire season was skipped, the Synchro arc, because they just wanted to get it done and move on to VRAINS. The second was because of how poor it was, that an actual VRAINS English dub actually came about, but we can't see it legally in English. It's only available for people in Canada, Europe, and Australia, and there is no legal way to watch it. Which is a bummer because I really hope to provide my opinion on it. If I do get to see the English dub, I'll provide like a quick review of the series to hopefully see what I think of it. But the bigger concern is that, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, the Japanese side, let's just say there was a lot of issues. And it's one of the few series that have 4 clip shows. When a series actually has 4 clip shows, you know something is wrong. Very wrong. But regardless of which, at least VRAINS ended the way it did. It was alright for what it's worth. I did see the final episodes and it got really good. I just wish there was a bit more time because it ended rather abruptly. And with the announcement of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, I really am a bit skeptical. Made no better by the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS introduced a new kind of dueling. Rush dueling. Whatever it is, I'd rather not want to find out. Believe me, I'd rather not. But I can say that, yeah, I'm not as hopeful, but I'm only hoping it doesn't screw it up as it is. We are going to be getting the Link Evolution update, meaning that if they're adding more to the VRAINS campaign, I will be coming back, I will redo the first bits, and then I will continue it from there. So, yeah, that campaign part 1 with a question mark, you can safely say that it is part 1. But I will have to do like a part 1 redux, because if they're adding this update and adding more, then that's going to be something. And that means I'll have a reason to go back. Not to mention, they also announced that new changes are going to be adding to Yu-Gi-Oh! Starting on April 2020. The Master Rule 5, where basically they decided to make a compromise between Master Rule 3 and Master Rule 4. Basically, the first Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monster can be summoned in the main monster zone. But if you want to summon any others, you're going to have to summon them through the extra monster zone. Link summons are still about, which thankfully I can enjoy Link summoning, but I'm pretty surprised that they actually went and do this. Though with the idea of the rush dueling, who knows? So I gotta ask, what do you guys think of all this? What do you guys think of the sudden announcement that Konami made during Jump Festa with Link Evolution coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Steam sometime in 2020? I want to know. Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to hearing from you because once the added stuff comes in, I will be back. That is a fact. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell. All information will be in the description below. I'll see you guys later. This is Mega Man NG signing off. Peace out. When it comes, remember, into the frames!